Exploring in Minecraft usually takes us below ground, but what if space actually existed in Minecraft? What would we see? How would Steve survive? And where exactly would he be going? This is the Beyond, a hidden planet with 5 mysterious biomes containing more than you would imagine, spread across a world double the generation distance of back home. So how would Steve even get up here in the first place? You see, it's hard to imagine spacesuits and rocket ships, but a portal made of recovered meteorites found within dig sites. Oh, now we're talking. But there's still a major problem, as just like space, Steve won't be able to breathe in the Beyond, which is why if he wants to push the limits of exploration, he'll need to bring along magma potions, a type of potion that works slightly differently to what we're used to, as instead of giving an effect, it directly restores 2 air bubbles on Steve's oxygen bar, allowing him to step foot through the portal and explore the Beyond, taking him to the Umbrella Jungle, an alien biome where plants provide light, jungle leaves are bouncy, and where trees are capable of spawning small jellyfish-like spores that communicate with its every surroundings. However, similar to the cave sounds back home, what these micro jellyfish talk about remains a mystery to even the greatest of explorers. With that being said, if Steve is going to survive in this jungle, there's 2 different types of trees to build a house out of, and a more than friendly alien species that he's able to learn from. These are climbers, a monkeyfish hybrid that live within these jelly trees, climbing these unique jungle vines and eating the rare and slow-growing jelly shrooms. Despite food being incredibly hard to find, the climbers stay in groups similar to the wolves back home, allowing them to find food more efficiently, which if Steve watches closely can increase his chances of survival. But Steve can't let his guard down just yet, as the climbers sense a real threat, leaving Steve nervous as when other groups of climbers run out of food, they invade with plans to steal, and this time, it's here. Things are about to get ugly. And so with Steve's limited air supply, he moves quickly, hoping to survive, wondering what else is out there, leading him to the Sulphur Springs, a serious space wasteland where very little can live. And whether Steve is also on that list, well, time will only tell, as the smoke these springs create take up Steve's air bubbles twice as fast, meaning this harsh of an environment would of course make Steve or any player understandably doubtful about their survival, forcing some to adapt their playstyles creatively, whilst others would choose ways to avoid it altogether. But breathing won't be the only challenge, as Steve will have a pretty tricky time building anything here too, as only 3 different types of blocks actually exist here: sulfuric rock, flavolite, and brimstone, which only confirms that this biome was doomed from the very beginning, forcing a nervous Steve with a limited amount of oxygen to push forwards for his survival, just as a player would be expected to do if space were to one day meet Minecraft. But as Steve continues to explore the Beyond, he realizes that you're probably not subscribed, and doing so is totally free. Just make sure to have notifications on so you never miss out on a video. And so a nervous but determined Steve finally finds a place so full of alien life, it's unbelievable. From vibrant fish coexisting with cubozoids, dragonflies, green climbers, and a particularly large alien toad. This 4-eyed mob is called a grunk, known for being lazy, often choosing to sleep near water rather than in it. As friendly as the grunk may look, Steve will want to crouch when walking past it, as getting too close or being too noisy will wake it, taking the risk of being mistaken for a dragonfly. Of course, it's not hard to imagine one day putting a saddle on this lazy alien's back. Yet for now, Steve has spotted something seriously familiar. See, if Minecraft space existed in the way we picture it here, it would make sense to carry over some familiar faces, especially those dropping handy crafting items, such as the slime taking on a new form, and in good old Minecraft fashion, the Enderman magically existing here too. But if Steve wants to continue surviving in the Beyond, he'll need to stock up on food, and luckily, the mobs here aren't just great to look at. However, the rumbling we heard earlier is only getting stronger, scaring the grunks into hiding, leaving Steve feeling uneasy as his air bubbles aren't being used up any slower, and if he wants to explore where the rumbling came from, or even the remaining mysterious biomes, he'll need to make a decision quickly. Does he stay, turn back around, and face the dangerous Sulphur Springs, or will he risk pushing on? It seems Steve's curiosity for the rumbling wins over his fear for survival. But when thinking of space in Minecraft, it's not hard to imagine an item being so incredibly hard to come across. It ultimately forces the player to risk the journey in return for the item. So what exactly is out there? I'll let Steve show you, as we've just arrived at the Crystal Mountains. a biome where the only sound that can be heard is the tinkling of the crystals. It's lucky that Steve has stocked up on food, because in the mountains, there's a lot more to focus on, just like this Thalassium ore, harder than ancient debris to find, hiding beneath these massive crystal shards. It's rare, but occasionally it will spawn on the surface, meaning this time Steve is in luck, as Thalassium armor is the first of its kind to exclusively unlock an enchantment that allows Steve to completely breathe in the beyond, which by imagining a unique ore, similar to how the Nether has ancient debris, would give players another reason to journey far into the beyond, as by having to find the rare crystal mountains along with Thalassium ore, it gives players like you and I another reason to keep coming back. But this time, as Steve is ready to take it home, the shaking from the ground beneath slowly turns into stomp, finding Steve face to face with the Crystal Guardian, a relentless alien mob capable of moving so fast it takes Steve by surprise. It's clear the Guardian's job is to protect the Thalassium, and if it needs to kill Steve, it won't think twice, as with a total of 375 hearts, it's impossible for even the Warden to kill it. Steve's odds for survival in the Beyond aren't looking good. He can forget about hiding, because without a pickaxe, he can't dig down or block himself in, and the idea of building up onto a crystal is no use either, as the Guardian won't forget Steve until he's fully escaped the Crystal Mountains. And to make matters worse, Steve's air supply has gone ridiculously low, but he won't give up just yet, because by combining Steve's size and the crystals that pierce through the ground, Steve can use them to his advantage, as he's able to weave through them at a much faster pace than the Crystal Golem. And if he picks the right path, with some crystals being closer than usual, it can trap the angry golem in its steps, allowing Steve to make his grand escape deep into the Lantern Woods. And so with little to no food, an air supply quickly reaching its end, and no pickaxe to use, it's clear the chances of Steve surviving are looking incredibly slim. But his odds might just improve, as the Lantern Woods are a safe place to seek shelter, with mushrooms to eat and Lucernia trees growing so tightly together, it allows for the perfect place to rest. With that being said, there won't be much sleeping, as the buzzing you're hearing comes from the shy Fluffox, a half moth, half fennec, known for burrowing deep within the moon rock. However, this skittish mob gets a lot more interesting if Steve approaches quietly, as he can be the first in a very long time to fully tame an alien, which leaves us with an important question. Who was taming them before us? One clue could be the ancient abandoned structures, that if you haven't noticed by now, have been scattered in nearly every single biome, giving Minecraft players who love to sink into Minecraft's lore another place to speculate on, allowing you and I to imagine what these possible aliens could have truly looked like. And so with these amazing clues, it's easy to see the Beyond is full of amazing stories, ones with adventures, risk and difficulty that we definitely wouldn't get bored of, as Steve has proven time again that with different things to eat, new mobs to encounter and creative environments to explore, the Beyond as a whole is truly something. And so as Steve's oxygen supply reaches an all-time critical low, he turns back to the meteorite portal with the answer to our question, that Steve can most definitely survive in the Beyond. And if Minecraft ever adds space, the chances of it taking shape close to what we've imagined here today will remain unknown, leaving us with Minecraft's night sky. That isn't too bad after all.